Hi guys and girls, I'm Obsidian Ant and welcome to Elite Dangerous. A live stream here at the end of the week again. It goes by just so quickly, doesn't it? So here again, YouTube and Twitch. Hi to everyone on both platforms. Awesome to see you all here. Load of recognisable faces again. Hello there, Fox. Foxy Loxy as well, over on Twitch. Commander Stargazer, great to see you again. McCange, Flenser, Barkfield. Oh, a load of you. Thank you, Trey and Raptor there as well. Great to see you. Starlos, again from Las Vegas. How's it over there? I bet it's not as cold as at some places over there in the States, is it? Jared Watts, hey there. How you doing? I hope you're all alright. So, right here, notable stellar phenomena. This is actually the one we logged out near by on Wednesday. And I logged back in the game expecting to be inside the stellar phenomena, and it was actually 17 light seconds away. So it seems these things actually drift, and for some reason when you're logged out you don't drift along with it. You can log out in them, and at least at the moment, or at least this one, you log back in and find yourself not in the centre of it anymore. So yeah, gotta wonder what that's all about, but it just seems to be the way of things, I guess. You have, yes, we do need slow mode, unfortunately. Big, otherwise I can't read chat, and it makes things pretty much impossible. I'm pretty sure you can say what you need to say in a single sentence anyway, can't you? It's only, I think, about 20 or 30 second delay anyway on the chat, so it's nothing too massive. PM Collectible, I'm not sure if the free paint job is out. I've heard some people saying they might have it, but I haven't paid too much attention, unfortunately. Yeah, totally agree, Titan. It makes sense to have the stellar phenomena drift. What seems odd is that we don't drift along with it. Obviously, if we're within the nebula and the Lagrange cloud and it's being pulled along by gravity, it makes sense that we would be pulled along with it as well, but there we go. It seems we keep our static position, which makes less sense in a way. But then we do disappear from the game world, so I suppose there's also that to consider. Minus 55 wind chills in Minnesota. Well, it's just a bit cold, isn't it? A bit on the chilly side. Anyway, let's speed up and get in there. So I do want to just have a look at this Lagrange cloud. Yep, Lagrange cloud. MG. Some people call them Lagrange clouds or Lagrange clouds, but I believe the correct way of saying it is Lagrange clouds. But either way, it's all good. We all know what everyone means when they say it, so yeah. And in case you're purely wondering what one is, it's basically like a little tiny mini nebula, which we're going to see in just a second now. So there is a bit of a glitch, or there was previously, where we tried to jump out nearby them like here, and it pushed us back a couple of dozen light seconds or so. Let's see if that happens again. Oh, we're actually right inside it. Good. Or at least not right inside it, but right near it. So very, very bright. Helen, so you can't fly with me at the moment because I'm all the way... not fully at waypoint 3, but Sunday I'll be at waypoint 3, so anyone's welcome to come along at that point. It'd be totally cool. Chris Griffin, thank you very much. You're past Rahini, heading towards the quantum world. That's where I'll be heading towards as well, quantum world, just shortly. Thank you very much for that, Chris. Very much appreciated. Felix Rowan, that's actually a really interesting observation. I had never considered that. Let's have a look at that, and we'll show a screen grab of it. Give me 2 seconds. We'll bring this up on chat. Right, so Felix Rowan's over on, for those of you on Twitch, is on YouTube, has just said that the F-25 Cobra paint job, this was released for Frontiers 25th anniversary is pretty interesting because it's there we go, because it looks a little bit like atmospheric re-entry. Is it a hint perhaps? Now I do know Frontier do like to tease things like that. They do like to play around and tease the community. It's not something I would have noticed, not something I would have considered, but now you look at it, it's kind of hard to miss it, isn't it? I really like that thought. Could that be a hint towards atmospheric re-entry, I wonder? Nice thought. Let's get back to the game there. Box B, why the Crate Phantom over the Asp Explorer in a sentence? Because it's much better. It's got more flexibility and it's got a better jump range. There's really no reason at the moment, aside from personal preference, to have a Asp Explorer. Sergeant Stubby, thank you very, very much. No worries. Real life stuff always comes first. Hopefully things will be good here. They usually are, so as always, totally appreciate that. It means a lot to me, Sergeant Stubby. Your help does too as well. Why is the screen orange? Right, so Mo Salmon, it's because we're in a Lagrange cloud, and you can see we're just sort of hovering outside of the cloud here. This is like a big volumetric cloud, like a little tiny mini nebula, a few miles across. You can actually fly across it in relatively short time. You can see we've actually flown out of it a little bit, like a big cloud on an atmospheric planet, actually. So Tom White, I'm actually heading towards the Conflux settlements, which is the Waypoint 3 destination. We're actually going to stop off at... we're going to have a look at a few points here in the Eagle Nebula first. And then we're going to head towards Quantum World, which is a tiny little itty-bitty world. Here's my ship name, a reference to Iron Man. So close. It's actually a Warhammer 40,000 reference. Ferrus Manus is a Primarch of one of these Space Marine legions. So unfortunately, in 7, not all ships get the free paint. Just the Cobra Mark III. Just gonna have a quick look at one of these little creatures, because it seems there's a few people in chat that haven't seen these nebula before, these Lagrange clouds, so we're gonna see if we can find one of the itty bitty little creatures that live here. Mad Dog, hey there, great to see you. Hope everything's okay. How are you doing? Game Sinner, so my jump range here is 60 light years, but I don't know what a good jump range is for a Crate Phantom. I haven't tried to max one out. I know people have got significantly higher than 60 light years though. Mine's fairly heavy. Moose, mouse in your house. Oh, thank you very, very much for that. I'm glad to see you here in a live stream. Very much appreciated. Thank you. Trey, I haven't seen a super chat there yet. I hope it hasn't glitched out for you there. So, Osmodian. The Phantom can go to 72 light years. But that's only with an 8-ton fuel tank. So risky, but yeah, 72 light years is pretty nice. So what are the spikes, Pedro? These are, let's have a look, Flavium metallic crystals, and we can actually scan these and get a bit more information about them. Oh wow, Trey, sounds like it's gone a bit glitchy there. Sorry about that. Hopefully it'll show up in a little bit of time, perhaps. Let's have a look here this end. I can't see anything in the... nope, nothing showing up in the dashboard here. Or chat. That's a bit frustrating, isn't it? So, for those wondering about the crystal spikes here, these show up in the codex. Yeah, nice warm-looking cloud, Scorpion. Yeah, codex. Metallic crystals. We found the Flavian type. Flavum, not Flavium. These crystalline structures are created by huge numbers of primordial microorganisms. Subi, thank you very much. Very nice comment. Appreciate it. I'm glad you like the content. Thank you very, very much for that. Jared, I totally agree. I'd love to be able to EVA as well. Hopeful for the future. Maybe we're about to get that sooner rather than later. Now, there's also some of these other little creatures in this Lagrange cloud, and it looks like a few people haven't seen all these things yet, so let's try and find one of them before we head on to the next area. Right, so that's the metallic cloud I've got scanned, or locked onto on the radar. Well, DJ, this is very, very kind of everyone. Very much appreciated. Well, thank you very, very much. I'm working my altar count up to a Cobra. My hope is to take him, make him a real Cobra commander. Yeah, lovely reference there. You go for that. I think the Cobra's actually a fantastic ship. I know it's one of the smaller ships in the game, and people very quickly outgrow it. But personally, if I could stand a Cobra, if it had slight more flexibility, I personally would stand the Cobra. It's actually my favourite game my favourite ship in the game. I think I've already scanned this. Ken, yeah, the Sagittarius Eye video was pretty neat. All I did was narrate that. The script was totally by the Sagittarius Eye people, as was the editing. So it was great to be involved with that. Yeah, totally agree, Mad Dog. The Cobra's really, really nice. So we've got a gourd mollusk here. We can actually try and interact with these, and maybe we get a bit of... let's see if it reacts to a scan. Let's get a little bit closer. Sometimes these creatures react to different functions of your ship. So we're going to do a Discovery Scanner Blast. Doesn't seem to have reacted to that. Let's try a bit of light. Are they turning towards the light, or is he still spinning? Right, he's still going to keep spinning. Let's turn the light off then. Someone's suggesting to shoot at it. Let's have a look. We have got a we've got a pulse laser. Let's switch that on. Oh, he's disappeared. He doesn't want to be shot at. Yeah, totally agree, Mad Dog. All it needs is a couple more module slots, and the Cobra would be a perfect ship. Despite being a small ship, I'd be perfectly happy to stay in it. Thank you, Douglas. Very kind. Aquatic Borealis, hey there. Oh, right, let's switch mode there. Let's see if we can get up closer here. We logged onto it? Are we too close to it? Oh, I don't know if you can hear that on stream. The little creature's sounds. I'm going to turn it up a little bit, see if you can hear that. Can you hear it? It doesn't seem too happy about that. Oh, Trey Harris. Thank you very, very much. I assume that was the initial one coming through there. That's very kind of you. My theory, the Easter egg is that if you equip that library, your Cobra can do atmospheric injury. But only if you find the exact weld in the pick. That would be really funny, wouldn't it? Could you imagine that? One atmospheric weld in the entire game. That would be a massive troll buff frontier, that. Thank you very much for that. Appreciated. Very kind of you. We're going to scan this again. Oh, I keep flying past it. Let's try that again, because sometimes you get a different response. No new traits found. Okay, so despite shooting it, shining lights at it, and trying to interact with it with the Discovery blaster, we're not getting any new traits found. So we're going to move on. Yeah, it did take a while to come through there, Trey. Still very much appreciated, though. Yeah, the world is Raxler. Yeah, could you imagine that? The one atmospheric world is Raxler. I'm actually going to turn back here and reverse up a bit because I want you to be able to see what it looks like when we back out of this cloud here. It seems not everyone has actually seen these clouds yet. These are actually literally proper volumetric clouds. They're not just background. You literally do fly through these gas clouds. I'm actually on the dark side of it here, so it's making it hard to see after all. Unfortunate. Raptor, thank you very much. Thank you. Space Whales. Yeah, Space Whales. What was this? Oh my goodness, Star. I did a review on that game. It was an old 16-bit game. What the heck was it called again? What were the Space Whales from? Oh wow, I hate it when the words slip off the end of my tongue there. Right on the edge of a game that I really liked from the 90s. I played it on the Amiga a lot, and I did a flashback review on it last year, I think. Someone will remember, I'm sure. Got some kind of classic music to it as well. Some iconic music, shall we say. So night vision doesn't work in external view, unfortunately, and we're around the dark side of the cloud, so unfortunately I can't show you what that's looking like either. Star Glider, yeah, that was the one, Briggy. Thank you. It was Star something. It was right on the tip of my tongue there. Yeah, Star Glider, one of my favourite games from years back. Colin Mack, hello there. Star Glider 2, I think, was the one I played most of, rather than the first one. So yeah, Star Glider, the first one, had the wireframes. Star Glider 2 kind of went with the filled-in polygons. Alright, now there should be another stellar phenomena around here. We're going to go have a look at that before we start travelling on a bit further. Mad Dog, that's the same sound that Frontier uses for the Triceratops in Jurassic World Evolution. That's actually really interesting. Yeah, David, I agree. I'd like to see night vision working in external camera mode. I do think that some people might feel it could be exploited, though, as it would allow you to see what's going on with other players. So it could be a gameplay reason or balance reason they didn't allow it. Clay Rogers, yep, I'm about to explore. We're just going to have a look at this other stellar phenomena, and then we're going to head onwards. In-game sound is too loud. Thank you, Raptor. Let's turn that back down. That's probably because I turned it up earlier on, so everyone could hear the poor little creature wailing. There we go. I hope that's a little bit better. Okay, Jared. Take care. Okay, we'll see you soon. Thanks for stopping by. So hopefully this cloud's going to be a little bit different to the other one, although it'd probably have the same type of life. Okay, Trey, let's turn that back up a little bit. There we go. Hopefully that's loud enough. Mad Dog, I haven't checked out the settlements yet. If you mean the Conflux settlements, we're heading out that way tonight. Hopefully we'll make it there during the... Oh, it's the same sort of colour clouds, so we won't bother spending time investigating that because it's what we've already seen. So we're here in the Eagle Nebula, or just off to the side of it. Oh no, I see. We've got some... squadron bookmarks this time. So Rahini, I think that is a space station. So we're going to head that way, I think. Let's just see where the ultimate destination is here today. The Conflux settlements are in this system right here. Let's see how far we got to go in total. Hopefully we'll be able to make it today. Right, so only 2,000 light years to the destination there. We could stop off at Rohini, which is the there's a space station there, but I don't really feel we need to go and see a space station. I'm all stocked up still. So instead of that, let's go have a look at Quantum World. Go to Quantum World and then the Conflux settlements, I think. Let's get the right system name. That helps. There we go. Yeah, it's this one here. I was wondering if it would be. Vi, wow, thank you very, very much. That's very kind of you. Very much appreciated, thank you. Hope all is well on your end. So yeah, we're going to have a travel over to this way, so that seems pretty excessive. So what we'll do is keep having a look as we go. We'll stop off and have a look at a few other locations. So Pedro, there's a lot of different stellar phenomena in the galaxy, not just that one we saw there, and they all look, not all look different, but there's a lot of variance, a lot of different coloured stellar phenomena. Some are blue, you get green ones, you get black ones, yellow, all sorts, and each of them can have different types of creatures in them as well, so they're not all exactly the same, which I think is really nice touch. So Stumpfish, any tips for getting the Guardian FSD booster? So if you haven't got the Guardian FSD booster yet and you're wondering how to do it, my biggest tip would be go look at YouTuber Exegius's channel, because he's got a great unlock guide there for the FSD. So we're going to do a few jumps and then we'll stop off and have a look. See what we can find dotted around. There's probably going to be some decent planets along the way, hopefully. Right, Kadoka, how should you start out in this game, and how should you refuel if you travel away from the bubble? So you actually get a fuel scoop. There's a thing called a fuel scoop, a module that you can buy from stations. I've got one here, pretty big and expensive one. The more expensive it is, the faster it will refuel your ship at. And you saw me refueling a moment ago as we were flying around the star. You fuel scoop there. So Commander Zurich, I don't actually use any third-party tools in-game. I used to use, I won't call it a tool, but I did used to use EDFX a lot, which was a graphics mod. But I didn't use that since Chapter 4 come along. Patrick, thank you very much for that comment. Glad you like the content. But yeah, since Chapter 4 come along with the graphical upgrades, I haven't found using the graphics mod necessary. I think there's a lot of fantastic tools out there, but personally I don't really use them. How do I determine which systems to stop off and scan at? So usually it'd be one with a decent number of bodies in. So on a journey like this, I like to get a few jumps under my belt before we stop off and start scanning. Otherwise we never get to our destination because we're constantly scanning. But it does mean I'm probably missing a few decent locations. This one here, for example, looks like it hadn't been explored previously. There might have been something worthwhile there. But for the moment I'm just honking and jumping, and in a minute we'll actually see about stopping off. Thomas, did I do the voice for Obsidian Station or Obsidian Orbital Line? Assuming Moon. Yes, I did. I can understand why some people feel the FSS is tedious, Colin. I can totally understand that. Personally, I really enjoy it though. Right, just 8 bodies here. A few more jumps and we'll start thinking about doing a bit of scanning. Thanks for the link there, DJ. That's brilliant. Like I say, Commander Exiguous's guide is the one I always recommend for unlocking the Guardian FSD booster. Very, very helpful. And the Guardian FSD booster is definitely worth getting if you can afford the larger variant of it. It'll add 10 light years to your jump range, which is pretty significant. So Swigminion, yes, I will be stopping off on way. I'm heading to Quantum World before going to the settlements, and I will probably have a look at some other places to scan along the route. Here's a good candidate. We'll have a quick look here, see if there's anything worthwhile. Basically, for the moment, I'll be looking for rocky worlds or high-value worlds. So we've got high sea bodies here and a few high metal content worlds. We'll have a look at them. I'm not too fussed about icy worlds at the moment because I'm really interested in places that might have some decent surface sites, and the icy worlds probably won't have biological life or anything like that. So to save a bit of time, we'd just skip over them. Otherwise, we'd be scanning forever. Everett, hello there. So an atmospheric high metal content world. Again, not really what we're looking for, but they give us a bit of credit value. As I said before, I'm not too worried about credits on this particular account. This is an account I bought specifically for Distant Worlds 2, and chances are I won't be taking it back to the bubble, back to the inhabited systems. I'll probably leave it out in deep space permanently. So that means I'm not too fussed about discoveries or anything. In terms of getting the credits from them, that is, because I won't be going back in a hurry to sell the data. Alright, let's not worry too much about that then. Let's keep going. Now, bark mounds, and plenty of them about Barkfield. Zonius Games, thank you very, very much. I'm glad you find the videos useful. Thanks for that. Yeah, I try to put together useful videos for people, so it's always really nice to know that they are actually a help for people.
System scan complete.
Banoto, getting data that we could analyse perhaps in Witch Space. I think that's a really nice idea. Witch Space, after all, is meant to be another dimension. So maybe one day we'll get the ability to explore it. I think that would be pretty interesting. I mean, do the Thargoids reside in Witch Space, can they? Or do they simply use it like us to travel from point to point? I'm not sure how clear the lore is on that one. Although I can't remember. I know there was always hints and suggestions of them residing in Witch Space, or strange things being inside of Witch Space. Right, 8 bodies. Let's have a look actually. Rather than keep jumping, let's check the system map a few times just to see if it's already been explored by someone. So it looks like this hasn't been explored by anyone yet, which is neat. But very cold out here. Lots of icy bodies. Now, that's not to say icy worlds can't be decent. They can be. I'm looking for something a little bit more specific, perhaps. So that red place I was in, it was like in Ant-Man. So no, Pedro, it was actually like a gas cloud. It was a gas cloud orbiting near a planet. They're called Lagrange clouds. They are located at Lagrange points, which are areas where things basically have a stable gravitational orbit, which allows for gases and things like that to accumulate, which means they can build up large enough to be small bodies of clouds and things like that that you can actually fly in. In terms of elite, it also means that creatures can live in them. Cellophile, hello there. Is there any news on what the next big thing is for Elite Danger? It's been out the loop for a while. Okay, so Frontier have said that they said that they put the next big update into full-on production middle of last year. So they've at least been working on it probably 6 months or so by now. What they haven't said is what it is or when it's coming out. So the speculation is that it's going to be released in 2019, but Frontier haven't actually confirmed that yet. But it will be a big update because they've confirmed it's going to be a paid update. So it's going to be something pretty significant. Alright, this has got a slightly larger star here, so we might find something a bit more interesting. Let's see what we got. Oh, you know, it's a shame we can't really stay throttled up to use the FSD. Right, so more high metal content worlds, so likely to be worlds with an atmosphere. And that's the thing, personally, I'm looking forward to, the day we can land on these places. Although some of these have got liquid on, so I guess we probably won't be landing on them too soon. I guess the problem with the throttle, having to zero it to use the FSD, is that, not the FSD, but the FSS, is that you won't have a stable camera for trying to locate things. You'll be moving around all the time, which probably might make things a bit more difficult, I guess, to try and orientate yourself towards all these areas. Jim plays games. Yeah, I hope they'll allow us to land on Earth-like worlds, but I suspect that's further in the future than atmospheric planets. I suspect we'll have worlds like Mars first, Mars of today. Just rocky worlds with an atmosphere, or Venus, before we ever get Earth-likes. Earth-likes probably further out, but you never know. You never know what Frontier's plans are, really. That's the thing. I wonder if we will discover Raxler location. So Joys, I really would love it if Raxler was discovered whilst the Distant Worlds 2 expedition was going on. I think that would be the absolute perfect time for that to be located. And it would make sense in a way, because there's literally thousands and thousands of ponds of players coming out this way with all the new exploration tools, so there's probably more chances now of people finding somewhere like Raxler than ever before. So yeah, be nice. Picard, no one actually knows what Raxler is. Is it something that we can scan? Is it a planet? No one actually knows. Let's, seeing as it would be asked, it seems a few people may not be aware. We've got an entry now here in the Knowledge Codex. This is a knowledge base for Elite. Let's make sure we're not burning up before we start looking around in now. Don't want to get any heat damage really whilst we're out here, because not very easy to repair. So yeah, there is an entry here for Raxler. The legend of Raxler, I won't read all this, but the legend of Raxler has been circulating in whispers for centuries. The quest for this mysterious place, the location of which is a deadly secret, was said to be the principal aim of the Dark World, which is an organisation, a punitive fraternity of legend chasers from the early days of interstellar travel. The earliest recorded mention of Raxler dates from 2296 from the Journal of Art Tornquist, a shipboard mechanic based in the Tau Ceti system. He writes, Cora comes some soused and raving with wild stories, or comes home. A new one every night. She claims she's found a map to some pirate stash, and all I have to do is loan her my ship so we can go dig it up. Maybe we should go find Raxler whilst we're at it. So it's extremely difficult to find consistency among the various fragmentary rumours of Raxler, much like the ancient myths of Atlantis, El Dorado, and the kingdom of Prester John. Interpretations of the story range from the sceptical to the outlandish. Raxler has been suggested to be anything from an unremarkable moon to a state of cosmic enlightenment. There we go. Could be anything, could be nothing, but Frontier have said in the past that it is in the game, so who knows? What have we got? Rocky bodies and a gas giant. Rocky bodies could be worth taking a look at. These are the sort of places that are more likely to have, at least in my experience, more likely to have biological life, and still haven't discovered any biological life of my own yet. So far everything I've seen has been other people's discoveries. I guess that's one of the gas giants. And it's many rocky moons. Let's see if there's any volcanism on any of these. Yes, Olorix, in the early games there were multiple galaxies that we could travel between. Maybe Raxler has to do with the weird permit lock regions. Possible. Don't look like any of these have actually got what we're looking for, which is surface locations. No volcanism here. Now this is kind of the strange thing about Elite. Sometimes you can go system after system with finding the planets all with lots of geological activity. Other times you can just keep going and find no geological activity at all. Optional Zero, hey there. What button did I sacrifice on HOTAS for the combat analysis toggle? So the good thing about the way the keybinds work in Elite, at least for my HOTAS, is you can use a combination of buttons. So I actually use a combination of 2 buttons on my throttle for the combat analysis. It's a little middle finger button on the HOTAS behind the throttle, that's on the Warthog, and the one of the thumbsticks, combination of that.
System scan complete.
Hey there, Andy. Right, a very small system here. Defcon. No one has yet solved the Thargoid map puzzle. Now, I think that's really interesting. It's come up a few times before. My understanding of that the last time I looked at it, which was sometime last year, was that the Thargoid puzzle, the map, the probe, was pointing to a location in the Coal 70 sector. And as we all know, the Coal 70 sector is still permit locked. So the reason it can't be solved is because no one can actually get into these systems that the map points to, or that the probe apparently seems to point to. Yeah, so Jim, the Stellar Forge, the system that generates the Elite Dangerous Galaxy, does follow real-world known astrophysics, so that the planets that generate around certain types of stars should reflect how they would actually work in the real world. Which means that if you're up on the science, you should be able to work out roughly where to find which types of planets, just based on what sort of star you're jumping towards. So I play in a private group, PW. Joys, I know Canon used to be trying to solve that puzzle. I don't know if they've looked at it any time more recently. So I'm guessing G-type stars. Various types of stars. Jim, really? Very close to having an Earth-like world there, as you can see. Just rocky ice, just slightly off base there. Otherwise we could have found an Earth-like here, which would have been nice. Yep, good suggestion there from Mad Dog. If you want to know anything about the various puzzles, have a look at Canon Research's website, because it's got a whole load of information now on just about every mystery ever released into the game. An Idol, yes, the Crate Phantom is now my favourite ship. Much prefer it to the Asp Explorer, although that said, I still really do like the Asp. Right, so we're back to looking at icy bodies again, which, as I said, we're not too fussed about at the moment, so let's keep going. I'm not sure if you're about to post a link there at Mad Dog, but this is the site here that you want. I've just posted the Canon Research website there in Twitch chat. If anyone's interested over on YouTube, I've posted the link there as well. Optional 0, is it possible to follow you on PSN? Unfortunately, I don't accept any friend requests anymore, either in game for Elite for the most part, or on PlayStation Network. And that's simply because there's just so many of them. It makes it impossible to talk with people or to interact with anyone, which is unfortunate. But for this reason, we set up the Discord server. So if you want to come along and chat with me, you're more than welcome. We've got a fantastic community over there, over on Discord. It's easy to find, discord.gg/obsidianant. Nice and easy URL there for you to remember. So yeah, I'm there every day if you want to come along and chat. I'd love to see you there. Rocky Ice Worlds. Yeah, they're actually worth looking at. I think that's probably what I missed a moment ago, isn't it? No, I didn't. I scanned those ones. There's a few here bunched very close together. Well, two, in fact. Okay, not too bad. Yes, screenshots and such you can share over on the Discord as well. Optional 0. But yeah, I'm like you. I tend to keep a lot of social media to the low side. Kind of ironic coming from a YouTuber, I guess. What are my thoughts on having a Corvette as an exploration ship? So personally, my thoughts on having any ship as an exploration ship is perfectly fine. I think if you're going deep space exploring, there's a good chance you're going to be in that ship for a very long time. So you want a ship that you enjoy. It doesn't matter whether that's a Sidewinder, and plenty of people have explored in a Sidewinder. I know quite a few people have recently done 10,000 light year plus journeys in a Sidewinder and more. It doesn't matter if it's a Corvette, a cutter or whatever. You just need to go in a ship that you know you enjoy, because you're out there for a really long time. And that's really a matter of personal preference. If you want a ship that's technically better and you want long range jump distances, then you start narrowing your options. But if you're not really cared about jump range and you don't really care about certain exploration modules, then I think any ship is good for exploration, really. Jordan Walker, do I think we'll ever see other galaxies in Elite Dangerous? So, I don't think we'll ever see other galaxies in Elite, but one thing I would like to see, and I think is perfectly within the realms of Frontier putting within the game, let's see, is the Messier clouds over here. Messier clouds, if I'm pronouncing that right. Getting all my pronouncements messed up today. But these are the clouds that are just outside our galaxy, and they've got a whole load of stars inside them. I think it's within the realms of possibilities that Frontier might let us get to them in some way at some point in the future. They're a standout feature. They're always present. Something you can always see. And I know one of the, I think it was Michael Brooks actually, when he was executive producer of Elite, he was asked a question, what would you like to show players if you could show them anything within the game? I'm sure it was a question along those lines. I'm paraphrasing now, but he said he'd love the ability to be able to show players what the Milky Way looks like from the Magellanic clouds. I called them the Messier clouds just now, but the Magellanic clouds. Get my names right. So that suggests it's possible for developers at least to position the camera over in that way. Magellanic, yes. They're the Magellanic ones, Rostan. I'm not sure why I called them Messier just now. Mad Dog, we haven't seen enough of our own galaxy. Yeah, we're way less than 0.1% explored, but I'd kind of like to be able to see from that location, just because it would be fantastic to be able to look back at the Milky Way galaxy and see it from such a vast distance. Not really because I think we need more planets or more stars to explore, but just because that would just give us a very unique area to view the galaxy from. Different area, different perspective. That's what it would give us. a different perspective of things, one that we can't get because we can't see very clearly the galaxy itself. So Briggy, all those jumps will drive you insane. So there's not really any stars between here and the galactic clouds that are slightly further out. So you won't be able to use regular FSD to get there. There'll need to be a new jump method to get that far. What's my favourite part of Elite? Well, exploration for sure, but also flying the ships because I think the game's got a fantastic flight model. Not finding many planets here at the moment. Next time we get to a largish system, we'll stop off and do a bit more scanning. So roaster sand, that's right, it would be significantly faster than any ships in the game can do now, and that includes the mega ships. But you know, who knows, maybe some new technology would appear in the game at some point. Roaster sand, so maybe jump gates or something. So here's the interesting thing. If you look at, and I don't know how many of you actually have seen it, but when the Thargoids go into hyperspace, they've got a very different way of getting into hyperspace to us. And actually get into hyperspace through opening like a wormhole, like a tunnel. And human technology, our jump points have to lock onto large gravitational bodies. So to do an FSD jump, we have to log on to... Let's have a look here, actually. We have to log onto a star. Lock onto a star, not log. We don't know if that's how the Thargoids actually work. It seems they can actually travel in higher witch space or hyperspace in a very different way to humans. So if we got that sort of technology, it might be possible that we could jump significantly further than we can right now in a single jump. Yep, Thargoids are using witch space. I mean, the way we use witch space is we travel through it. From my understanding is we can't actually stop in it. As players, I know we can't stop inside of it. And my understanding is also that in terms of Elite lore, we don't technically have the ability to stop off inside of witch space. We just pass through it. I think it's different for the Thargoids. That's kind of what I was getting at earlier on. I can't quite remember the lore on that particular aspect, but my impression is that the Thargoids can actually travel in and around witch space. So Thargoids can emerge from hyperspace anywhere, Jim Page says. Yes. Yes. You often see Thargoids jumping out at random locations, even down on planets. They can exit hyperspace on planetary surfaces, or in just above the planet surface, should I say. So Avalon, hyperspace and witch space are actually the same thing, different words for the same thing. But capital ships, human capital ships, we do also open tunnels, similar to the way Thargoids do it. But I believe that, again, they just pass through it. My understanding is that they don't stop off inside of it. Optional 0, I'm convinced that at some point we will have long-range travel. I've said it a few times on stream, so people have probably heard me mention it before. But that theory is based on the fact that there's a lot of permit-locked regions on the other side of the galaxy. Alex, thank you very, very much. I appreciate that. I'm glad you enjoy the streams. Thank you. It's a very, very nice comment as well. So yeah, there's a lot of permit-locked regions on the other side of the galaxy. Some of them are like 40,000 light years away. And they're reserved for future content. So we've got to consider the player base having the technical ability to actually get to those locations. So yeah, I suspect eventually we'll have some very long jump capability. That may not necessarily be in our ships. I don't know how Frontier could implement that. So Bodamax, yeah, I don't think we'd actually see the Andromeda Galaxy in Elite Dangerous. I don't think they'd put another galaxy in, not a full-on galaxy, but I do feel that maybe they'd give us access to the Magellanic Clouds at some point, which already you can see in the game. Yeah, Jim plays. So that's an interesting observation. The station that jumped, a Jack station that jumped to Colonia, that was originally planned to do 60,000 light-year jump. So big jumps can happen, I guess. Although that didn't actually work out. Alright, some rocky ice worlds, and let's see if we can find something here. So again, no geological surface features. Very, very empty out this way in terms of that. Kind of curious as to why. Might as well just scan the rest of these icy bodies though. Like I say, I'm not too fussed about icy bodies, but the ironic thing about that is sometimes the icy bodies can have the most interesting surface features. Some real interesting geology down there, so it can be pretty neat to go to them. Right, what we got? One more body to find. Let's see where. There it is. He's a system scan complete, but nothing of interest yet. So let's keep going. Who knows what we may find out there. So what am I doing now? I'm heading towards waypoint 3 on Distant Worlds 2. Got a few jumps to go there, and there's a point of interest along the way called Quantum World, which I've heard some pretty interesting stories about. So we've got a few jumps before we get there, but we're stopping off and scanning along the way, hopefully trying to find something interesting. Do I think there's sentient species out there other than the Thargoids? So yes, I do. I don't necessarily think they're in the game yet, but I think in terms of what the game will ultimately include, there will be other sentient species out there. I have a feeling, a number of people do have the same sort of feeling, that there may be Guardians out there still, which have gone extinct, but there was some of the Guardians were exiled. And who knows where they went. They might not be part of the Guardians that went extinct. On top of that, the Guardians also created sentient AI, which we've never had any confirmation of that was actually destroyed. So I think there will be some, definitely some other sentient species out there at some point. Yes, so optional. The way I think look at that is that long-range jumps wouldn't be a problem for Elite. They wouldn't actually harm it, because to me the size of the galaxy is not down to its width or breadth. It's not down to its scale, but rather it's down to its volume. It's down to what makes Elite unique for me is the sheer amount of stars it contains. So to me it doesn't matter whether or not you can get across the galaxy in one jump, because there's still 400 billion star systems in it, and you could actually take a volume of space that's 500 light years cubed, and within that you'd have literally thousands upon thousands of stars, and you could just keep on exploring pretty much forever there, and there's always going to be something interesting to find. So for me, it's literally the volume of the galaxy that makes the game interesting rather than the size of it in terms of its measurement. So for that reason, I really don't think that long-range jumps would actually cause the game any harm, because it doesn't matter how far you jump. You could have 100,000 light-year jump range on your ship. That's still not going to make you be able to explore those 400 billion star systems any faster, because there's still 400 billion star systems. Franco, hey there. What's my headcanon on why Universal Cartographics will pay for exploration data over and over? So, I think that's kind of like the reason why astronomers nowadays look at the moon. They keep looking at the moon. It's been studied many, many times over the years. It's constantly studied. But people still keep doing it because there's always more information that you can find. So, my headcanon for it is that the data that we see inside our ship isn't the full range of data that's actually taken from these scans. And that's why Universal Cartographics will keep paying for the data, because there's more information there for them. Just an excuse, I guess, you know. That's kind of how I see it. I was wondering if that one was landable, but I don't think it is. What HUD colour codes am I using? I'll see if we can get that copied into chat. Buck Rabbit, hey there. So Brenda Kai, you're saying you've read a Canon article published but didn't mention a source, which is strange. But if there is an actual source, which people can find, how could it be a so-called hoax, like fronted trolling with the community? I don't get the overall concept. Can you provide a little explanation, please? So Brenda Kai, I'm not quite sure what you're talking about. I assume you're talking about the new so-called Thargoid signal that was discovered yesterday or today, which when analysed, I think using a spectral analysis, revealed a map. So the reason there's no source for that on the Canon website is because it's a player-created puzzle. It's a player-created audio signal. It's not actually in the game. So I won't call it a hoax. It's just simply a puzzle that a player created to have a bit of fun with. I think they might have done it in connection with creating an event for Ed Lewis's, who's the community manager over at Frontier, leaving too, as he's actually moving on to another company there. Hey Shan, nice to see you here. Yep, going very well, thank you. Still travelling towards waypoint 3. Doing a slow boating of it, just seeing what we can find along the way. How are you? You still on Distant Worlds? Where am I heading towards, Buckrabbit? Yes, I'm heading towards the Conflux. But by way of the Quantum World, I'm heading towards Quantum World right now. We haven't got too many jumps left before we get there. But just looking for something of interest along the way, but it's been seriously sparse. I mean, seriously sparse. We haven't even found any geological surface features yet. No, it was a pleasure being on Live Radio again, Shan. Thank you very much for inviting me on. In case anyone's wondering, that's Shan from Live Radio, which is a great, fantastic weekly show. In fact, I think it's the oldest Elite Dangerous fan show, isn't it? Fan-created show for the game. I'll say you got to waypoint 3 a few days ago. Cool. Hopefully, well, I'll be there for a departure on Sunday. So, on Sunday, we'll be getting the information for waypoint 4. We should be getting that around about 7 PM UTC, so And there we go, another system with nothing in it. Let's keep going. 230 episodes, been going since early alpha. It's amazing, isn't it? I remember around about the time that first started up. Honestly, I don't know where the time goes. Tricky Gaming, you found some space mushrooms not too far from here. Oh, cool. Is that near Quantum World? I reckon, Ventura, that Waypoint 4 is going to be in the direction of Colonia. And the reason for that is because Waypoint 1 headed directly towards Sagittarius A, but Waypoint 2 rather headed towards Sagittarius A, and Waypoint 3 kind of diverted off towards the east, I guess you could call it, as you look at the galaxy from the map. David Adams, what's the best way to maximise a jump range on your ship? So there's two ways or three ways to do that. First is by having light modules on your ship, so either go for smaller size than what your ship is capable of supporting. So for example, your sensors you can't actually decrease. But you can, your power plant, for example, maybe you can fit a size 6 power plant to your ship, just go for a smaller one, like a size 4 or a size 5, and that will give you some increased jump range. Also, you can engineer. Go to one of the engineers. Felicity Farsi is a very easy one to unlock. If you haven't got it unlocked already, that will give you quite a significant jump range boost. Or alternatively, go to the tech brokers after you've unlocked the Guardian FSD booster, which can add 10 light years to your jump range. Right, quite a lot of planets here, but nothing immediately stand out, but let's have a look at a few of these anyway. Looks like there's any rocket bodies here? No rocket bodies, unfortunately. There must be something in a system with this many planets. Alright, we've got plenty of gas giants, so chances are we'll find... You can often find moons with geological activity around gas giants, simply because of the gravitational forces there, but these might not be close enough. Yeah, we got something. At last! At last we got something with volcanism on. The water geysers, so we'll see how many there are, and then we'll head over that way. As long as it's not too far away. I didn't check how far away it was. So Jake, I don't devote time to gathering stuff for engineering because I really don't like the gathering process, and I'm not a big fan of the engineers. 45 geological features. So I rely on what I've already gathered. And if it's on a new account like this, then there's other ways around it. You can go to places like Dev's Hope and just keep picking up loads of stuff from that location, and then go to the material traders and trade it in for what you actually like. Dave Topper, you found some geezers and one threw your SRV right into a crack you couldn't drive out of. Wow, yeah. It happened to me on a stream a little while ago. I got stuck in a little hole on a mountainside, come tumbling down it and got stuck in a hole, but geezer, I resemble that remark. Yeah, geezers. They're geezers. Those geological formations that spew out various liquids, eh? What's the jump range on the Phantom? 60 light years. Geezer! That's it, Ray. Any preferred material traders that you could recommend? Have a look at the Inara website. That's got a big list of all the material traders on there, and I'll tell you where to go. Just go to the nearest one for the type of material that you're actually looking for. Vash, it depends on where you live. Where I live is Giza. Yes, Shan, thank you for posting the information there. So, I was mentioning Dav's Hope, where you can go to get certain materials. Usually fairly high-grade materials, which you can then trade in. Basically, those materials there keep respawning. So, if you go to Dav's Hope, it's a planetary base. You can collect a bunch of high-grade manufactured good sale materials, log out, log back in again, and they will respawn. Just get as many of them as you want. Shan's put the location in YouTube chat. I'll just post it over on Twitch chat in case you need it. You can then go and trade that in at the material traders. Makes it a little bit easier. Am I travelling along the galactic plane? I am, yes, Scorpion. Right, 4 probes for this one. We're fairly close to it for doing this, but it's fine. No, I had a feeling we was going to go over slightly there. Let's go back. Frontier needs to fix the cheesy log out, log in game mechanic. Well, it is what it is, isn't it? If they were going to do that, they also need to fix the cheesy material gathering process, which they've improved a lot, but it's still got a long way to desire, long way to go, largely due to the cheesy RNG, which isn't as bad as it was, but even still.
Surface scan complete.
Right, so 45 geological surface features here. We're going to go to one of these and then we'll make our way to Quantum World. I love that name, Quantum World. I'd like to say it sounds like something out of a sci-fi movie, Quantum World, but it actually sounds like something out of a Disney movie, doesn't it? Right, so there's the... Look at that, geological surface feature right on the pole. We go towards that. The method for getting materials on planets reminds me of Nunu from Teletubbies. Yes, Chan, exactly that. Oh, we're actually on the dark side here. Yeah, Chris, that's one of the reasons I really want to go there. I know the world's very, very small. The radius of 137 kilometres. That's kind of getting onto asteroid size, isn't it? Very tiny. Is that the world that recently players launched a SRV off from the surface, isn't it? And got it into orbit. You need low gravity to help you do that. Right, so let's see what we got on the horizon here. I was hoping we'd be able to see the let's not hit the ground too hard. Bit too dark. Oh no, potentially a nice shot here, but unfortunately we're in the dark, not in the light. But let's see what happens when we get down there. Ah, look at that. The cliffs in front of us are just a little bit too high to see the gas giant, unfortunately. Seeing these gas giants over there in the distance is usually pretty neat, but we can barely make it out. Plus it's a little bit too dark here. But we can scan one of these anyway. Worth a look. Right, let's scan that. No, we won't land here because it's not quite as interesting as I was hoping for. Hey there, Carl. Elite Game Dress, hello. Kirov, the most recent SRV reached escape velocity. Nice. Not just orbit then.
Cannot comply.
Right, so a few more jumps. We should be able to do this quite quickly now. Oh, Frank, I hope it's not too weird. Yeah, I didn't realise that, Cole, until relatively recently. I always used to park my ship up and get out of the ship and use the SRV to do the composition scanning. It wasn't until I was doing a live stream and someone said, you don't need to leave the ship. So, yeah, there's these benefits for doing live streams because people correct you on your gameplay, which sometimes can be a little bit annoying, but more often than not, it's actually really helpful. Shan, yeah, I too wish that Frontier would put more SRV types into the game. It'd actually be interesting to hear what type of SRV types people would like. What other types of SRVs would you all like to see? I could think of like a tank-like one that's perhaps got tracks with a lot of armour. I could see uses for that. Maybe a mining one. A large capacity truck SRV, yep, I'd like that as well. Those would actually be nice for delivery missions. I'd love to see base-to-base delivery missions on the surface of planets, but it puts you with the question, why would you want to do it in SRV when you've got ships? So that would mean kind of opening up missions and locations where you can't easily get to with a ship. So I guess down in very, very deep canyons, or maybe even in caves, if Frontier wanted to put caves into the game. And give you a reason to start hauling goods in an SRV. That'd be pretty nice. Shan wants a yellow lorry SRV that can carry more cargo, like the ones in the space stations. Yeah, there's plenty of them about, and I don't know why we can't have one. It was a long jump there, Trey. It's starting to make me wonder if we are going to get a crash any time now. Passenger mission SRVs, yeah, it's tourist ones. Take them to interesting surface locations. An SRV with a frameshift drive. That'd be pretty interesting, wouldn't it? Synthesis of SRVs. Yes, like we can with fighters. We can create them, so why can't we create SRVs? It doesn't make a whole lot of sense, does it? Yeah, an SRV that doesn't slip around. One with better traction, like that. Excuse me. That's why I like driving SRVs on high G welds. They got much better traction there. A National Express RV that drives really fast but only goes to a few places. It kind of makes me think of the trains in Star Citizen. They go just to point to point. Anyone want trains in Elite? There'd be a job for a train driver then, perhaps. Yeah, caves in planets to explore with SRVs. That's what I'd really like to see. Definitely. Yes, taking the pips out of engines. That does help. Good tip, Shan. We're getting there. 24 bodies. We'll have a very quick look at this place, I think. Could be something interesting here. You never know. You never know. No, we've already done that, didn't we? Let's just get out the way of the star and a quick scan. There's still no Earth-likes or anything. No water welds, no ammonia welds, just dull. Not even any rocky ice welds by the looks of it. Maybe some rocky ice welds. Maybe. I suspect it's going to be Ice Worlds O. What's going on? Why are we not finding anything any good at the moment? Oh, let's leave those. We want to get to Quantum World, I think. I still can't say Quantum World without thinking of a Disney movie or something of that type. Submersible SRVs on Water Worlds. Definitely GT. I'd very much like to see that. Or the ability for the Beluga liners and those class of ships to be able to fly underwater. Vagrant, hello there. Take a quantum leap to a quantum world. Fractal Souls. That was one of my favourite TV shows back in the day. You heard that Quantum World is just next door to Treasure Planet, yeah. We should have a look at the system planet names. You could imagine that, couldn't you? System map coming up with Quantum World and Treasure Planet. All these other type of names. Want to land on Elite Dangerous Moons? Yes, we're getting a bunch of binary star systems here.
System scan complete.
Yeah, I'm actually thinking about getting Subnautica. It seems to might be a bit of a difficult game to make videos on, but I'd be interested to see how many people would like to see the new Subnautica put into videos. Talking of which, I'm actually releasing the Sunless Skies video today as well after the stream, in case anybody wants to look at that. Actually, pretty nice, interesting game. A lot of reading involved, but it gives it that old style feel. Yes, Jan, I missed that. The free Subnautica. Bit of a shame. But I want to try the, was it Sub-Zero? Or whatever it's called now, the new version. I didn't actually try Subnautica yet, so Your van, it's never dry. That's why people who sit there watching it get bored, because they're waiting for it to dry. That's the tip, it never dries. Any word on comets? No, unfortunately not, Vash. Jump range, AMRAC of the Crate Phantom here is 60 light years. Right, we're getting closer and closer here to the tiny little quantum world. Landing on a comet, now that would be a bit of a trick, wouldn't it? Okay, Dave, I'll take care, okay? See you soon. DMX, what type of scanner was that you just used? Right, okay, so we got the detailed surface scanner here. Not the detailed surface scanner here, but the discovery scanner, which is built into all ships. We've got 7 planets to look at, and this is the full spectrum scanner, which allows us to find things around the system. Allows us to do full planetary scans without flying over to them. So whereas before we used to have to fly up to them to do a detailed surface scan, you'd just sit there for 20 seconds or whatever. Nowadays you don't have to, you can do that all from here. Scorp, thank you very, very much. Just see a message there. You're very welcome. I'm glad you enjoy the content, and thank you very much for that. I appreciate it. Hello from Mars. How's the weather there? Yeah, thank you, Scorp. Right. So yeah, basically this is just a new scanner. I know someone was asking about it just now. I'm not sure if they've asked anything further. But we're going to finish scanning here now because we've only got 2 more to scan.
System scan complete.
Scott Kidder, can you use exploration data to unlock anybody? So there are a few engineers, or 1 engineer at least, I think, that accepts exploration data. It might be worth going to them. And off the top of my head, it completely escapes me which engineer that is. I can have a look on Inara, but maybe someone in chat can let you know. I'm pretty sure there is an engineer that takes Felicity Farseer exploration data. Is that right? Yeah, Felicity Farseer. Great. So if you haven't unlocked Felicity Farseer, which is one of the first engineers, then now would be a good chance. But grab it, got snow. No snow here. Kids keep asking for snow, but it just never arrives. Oh, Payden is the one for exploration, is it? I think Payden needs you to travel 5,000 light years, so if you've done 5,000 light years, Payden would also be worth a visit as well. That's if you've got the invite to Payden yet. Hey, Dark Wind. I hope you have a decent trip there. I'm going to get in there. Yeah, as GT points out there, be a bit careful with your exploration data in Deciat. A lot of players, if you're in open, a lot of players do hang around there. They might want to take that exploration data off of you. For want of a better term. DMX, I do have a video on the full spectrum scanner. I think it's called How to Explore. It's a relatively recent one. No, Ryan, exploration data can't be taken from you in the sense that someone else can possess it, but they can take it from you in the sense of stopping you from owning it any longer. Basically, if you die when you've got exploration data, then you lose your data. I've been a little bit snarky, I admit. Game Dweller, hello there. Quite a trek to Thingy World, isn't it? Quantum World. It was unfortunate we weren't seeing too much along the way, I guess. I was hoping to see a few interesting locations, but sometimes that's just how it goes. They got many different names, Ryan. Depending on who's doing the naming, I guess. Even the amount of planets in many of these systems seem to be very sparse. I found this really does depend on where you are in the galaxy. Personally, I'm very much looking forward to getting more towards the galaxy core. It's been a long time since I've been right inside the galaxy core. Even from here we can see the galactic core is starting to look a little different. We're getting all these dust clouds below us, which you don't see quite so much in the home systems. Game Dweller, you got an AMD GPU question. You can ask it here. I'm not sure I'll be able to answer, but maybe someone can. So about 6 more jumps are left to go. Jordan Walter, safe travels to you too. Kung Fu Ferret, looking forward to Waypoint 4, as you'll be starting to see the core stars. I guess it depends on where Waypoint 4 is. Personally, I'm not expecting it to go into the core yet. Actually, then again, maybe it will. I was just kind of considering that maybe it will be going past Colonia, because we've sort of come upwards and we're going around this way, but Colonia's kind of all the way up here. So if we're going to go all that way and then across, see, waypoint 7 is when the next community goal is, and that will be taking place near Sagittarius A. So at waypoint 7 is what, 3 weeks from now, assuming that they release one a week. Kung Fu Ferret, Cohen said we're not going towards Colonia. Ah, good, okay. So it's great to know, it's great to have that confirmed that the expedition isn't going towards Colonia. So yeah, I guess waypoint 4 will start looking more visually interesting then as we start approaching the galactic core. Looking forward to it. I just was starting to come to that realisation then as I was looking at the galaxy map there at Kung Fu Ferret, because there won't be enough weeks. If waypoint 7 is the next community goal, there won't be enough weeks to get all the way to Colonia and then towards the galactic core. So waypoint 7 is 3 weeks away, so we're getting waypoint 4 this weekend, and we know the community goal is happening in March. So it looks like not every waypoint is going to be a week apart, otherwise waypoint 7 would work out the end of February. Why do I only scan some systems and not all? Because it will take too long to get anywhere at Kedoka. Take far too long if I was going to scan all the systems. Actually, I'm trying to get to a destination here, which is Quantum World, and I don't want to spend don't really want to spend too long doing that. Plus, not all the systems are all that interesting. If it says let's have a look, it gives us a bit of an idea how many planets are in a system. If it's particularly low, I tend not to look. 15 bodies is a good system to take a look at. And if it's only ice bodies, that's another thing I generally am not too worried about scanning. Nolan, this is the Crate Phantom. Trey, well, I hope you survived your interdiction there. Two more. Yeah, I'd really like to see the new ice worlds as well. Unfortunately, we're now taken out of Chapter 4. Frontier never said at what point they will be coming in the future. Commander Soundo, thank you very much for becoming a sponsor. I'd love to know where you're, where you put that in, because I haven't got an alert this end. I know you're already a YouTube member. So thank you for that. Right, I think the next jump is the last jump. Have a very quick look here, just to see if there's anything. No high value welds. Yeah, Bullet Magnet, there is definitely a visual difference between the streams on YouTube versus Twitch. I think Twitch generally tends to be a bit better quality, which I guess isn't too much of a surprise, because that's what Twitch specialises in. At least that's my experience. Be interesting to hear what everyone else thinks, which one's actually a bit better, YouTube or Twitch. Obviously I'm streaming on both platforms here at the moment. Keep turning those lights on. This is a pretty interesting location here, isn't it? Slightly moving above the galaxy here. I didn't realise we'd actually come so far above the galaxy. Right, so let's see where Quantum World is. I can't remember what planet it was. Planet AB1B. Let's see. Right, there we are. Oh, we got a nice bookmark on there. Good. It's a very, how should we say, craggy looking world as well, isn't it? Look at that. Anything else interesting here? No? Let's go have a look. Oh, okay, Trey, well, that's interesting to know. So, generally, the quality between YouTube and Twitch will depend on your own personal location. There we go. So, 1,100 light years above the galactic plane. Yeah, I didn't realise we'd actually been coming up quite so far. Going below the galactic plane, am I? Let's have a look. Oh, yes. Thanks for the correction there. I totally didn't realise that's what we'd done. Always nice to see, either above or below. So a nice view from up here. Still nowhere near as high as you can actually get. Maybe now we're up this high, I might actually try going a little bit higher as we continue onwards to the Conflux settlement. Hey there, Reaper. So this is a Crate Phantom. It's the new ship that came out with Chapter 4. A recent update, December. Gym drawer. It is very nice here. Yeah, lovely community. Reaper jump range is very, very good. It's one of the best exploration ships in the game right now. I've got a nice easy 60 light years on here. It didn't take too much work to get that either. So you can actually get it a fair bit higher. Dane, hello there. Shame it's not a little bit closer to the gas giant as well, because that's a pretty nice looking gas giant. For a second I thought I was seeing some parallax against the dust cloud in the background there. I'm not sure how that's coming across on stream. Obviously there's no parallax because that's in a vast distance, but it did kind of look like it there. So keybinds, I haven't got any guides for that, Stephen Baxter, unfortunately. I know keybinds are a complete nuisance when you're new with Elite. They could be a nuisance for veteran players as well. Have I come to the right world here? AB1B, okay. I was expecting it to look a little bit more potato shaped. So this is the fabled quantum world, in case people are wondering. Very, very small world. We're going to shoot a probe at it. We can do it with a single probe because it is so small.
Surface scan complete.
Okay.
Flight engaged.
Well, we're still progressing towards it very rapidly, even at the slow speed I'm going at here. Right, so there's no geological features down here, but we're going to find somewhere interesting to land, and then we'll have a look at some of the stats of the planet here. So bullet magnet, if you lose your engineered ship, if it gets destroyed, as long as you make sure you use the rebuy option, then you'll get all your engineering components back again. It'll be exactly the same as it is right now. Just make sure you use a rebuy and don't start yourself off in a sidewinder again. What's Quantum World? That's the name the community have given this planet here, David Adams. Called Quantum because it's so small. It's actually got a bit of outgassing going on here by the looks of it. Give it that slightly atmospheric appearance to it, doesn't it? Like it's got a thin atmosphere, which obviously it won't have. It hasn't got the gravitational pull for that. Let's turn night vision off. We don't need night vision here. Let's fly a little bit more towards the horizon there. We come out a little bit earlier than I wanted to. But yeah, we've got a bit of a atmosphere going on here. I did actually like the look of that spot back there as well. Looks like that would have been pretty neat to land at. Let's go a little bit further. Is this the world where you can launch an SRV into orbit? So Briggy, yes, other people have got an SRV off this planet into space. Right here. Whilst we just travel forward a little bit there, because I find an interesting looking surface site. Let's have a look at some of the planetary stats here. So yeah, 137 kilometer radius. So very, very small. What else have we got? No volcanism, unfortunately. It is tidally locked. What else have we got? But we do have some planetary materials here, which is quite handy, I guess. I might be doing a bit of a... Logan, how would you recover an SRV from orbit? Can you? I don't think you can. I don't think you can. So yeah, 137 kilometers is the radius. So just for reference, that's what, 12 to 13 times smaller than our moon. Our moon's got a radius of around about 1,700 kilometers. So rather than just settle down somewhere random, I was just looking for an area that's got interesting coloration down here, like the one we passed backwards just now. Hey there, quick! That's actually a really fun idea. Mad Dog. Using, I assume you mean using the SRV like a golf ball up in space. There we go. There's a nice looking location over there. We'll just head towards that, I think. And settle down over there. So, yeah, almost looks like we've got a bit of an atmosphere here. A lot of heavy outgassing going on. That sounds fun. A fuel rat coming to find the SRV in orbit. The fuel rat managed to whack them back down to the ground again. Fun things you can do in this game. Oh, I see, Mad Dog, I understand. One of the astronauts hit a golf ball off the moon. I think it went multiple kilometers. Misunderstanding the point you made. Yeah, let's land down here, I think. Seems like a good spot as any. Have to drive around.
Drive assist on. Low gravity warning.
So, well, we've got 3/100ths of a G. 3/100ths of Earth, 1/300th. Nope, 3/100ths, yeah, 3/100ths of a G. Very, very low gravity then. Yeah, not a bad location, is it? We're going to use the thrusters in a minute and see how high we can actually get up. Now it's a shame there's no geysers here, because if we had some of them around, I'm sure we could launch ourselves fairly high up into space right here. Just trying to get a decent camera perspective there. We're kind of off angle now. Right, I'm gonna... Well, we won't be able to launch up into space here on our own, not without any assistance, but give you a bit of an idea of how high we can actually get. Looks like about 60 kilometers is the limit. Not 60 kilometres, I wish. 60 metres. Looks like about the limit there. With minimal damage to the SRV. Let's have a look what there is to collect around here. I haven't got too many materials at the moment, and I'm probably going to want some more for synthesis as we go on. Alright, hello there. Yeah, KOD, if someone manages to reach escape velocity in SRV, can they get back into their own ship? So the way they could do that would be to log out of Elite Dangerous Horizons and just log into Elite Dangerous without Horizons. Now, Elite Dangerous doesn't allow for you to use an SRV, so what will happen is you'll spawn back inside your ship instead of the SRV. So it's a cheap way of getting out of a trapped position when you're stuck in a vehicle. The other alternative, yeah, would be to self-destruct the SRV, or as someone pointed out, get someone to try and bat the ship back to the surface of a planet again, which apparently has also been done. Let's see what we can find. Yeah, it does look pretty neat there over there. Someone saying decent shot early on. It's quite nice seeing this. I wish the gas giant was a little bit closer is all. Let's see what we can do about that. Not too much by the looks of it. At least not here. No. Can't get the planet and the SRV into the same shop because of where I've parked up. Maybe we can move on and get another location there. Defcon, I wish there was ways of saving camera angles. Unfortunately, there doesn't seem to be. So yeah, you have to reset the camera every time for now. And look at all these bits and bobs coming down extremely slowly.
Cargo scoop deployed.
And blast off into orbit nearly when you shoot them. Where's the other pieces? Dotted around various locations here. They spread out quite well, didn't they? So yeah, another nice view there. Look at that. Galactic core off to the distance. So yeah, as you start getting closer to the galaxy core, it does look quite a lot different. Quite a contrast here actually, because we're below it. So space actually starts getting quite dark. But what I'm going to actually do, I think before, not today, but before we go to the Conflux, will be to have a look further below the galaxy here. It'd be nice if we can get as far as we can go. I think we're getting quite close now, so it wouldn't be take too much to do that. Let's try and not distort the SRV there. How much of the galaxy we can actually get in the shot? without making the SRV look distorted. Yeah. So yeah, I think we'll definitely do that. Fly a little bit further below the galactic core here. Can I rotate the camera to match the galactic plane? I can. Yep. There we go. That's the way it should actually be because we're below the galactic plane here. It looks quite an unusual shot, doesn't it, that? That's really disorientating, eh? I think that would be really weird in VR. Alright, let's just have a look here. I want to check something out. So we're actually getting further below the galactic plane, as I say. We can get quite a bit further down still. I want to see how far that actually is. So when we can't see any more stars, that's when we're as far down as we can actually get. Let's creep up a little bit here. Let's just shoot past a star. Hard to see at this. Oh, here we go. There's a couple of stars. Can we reach that? 1,500 light years away. Route unavailable in the SRV. Of course it is. Let's get the ship back.
Ship recalled.
Where's the SRV? Not the SRV, but where's the ship going to come from? You never know which direction it's going to take. Sounds like over there. Or not. There it is. See the shadow? Plenty of places for the SRV to... Not the SRV. I keep calling it the SRV. Plenty of places for the ship to land. Unfortunately. There we go. Alright, let's get back in there and we can get an idea of how long it's going to take us to travel right below as far as we can actually get. It looks like there'd be quite an interesting view of the galaxy from that spot, so it might be worth actually doing that before we go to the Conflux settlements. Lobo, no, there's no new alien mysteries uncovered at the moment. Yeah, 1,500 light years in an SRV, that would have been rather interesting, wouldn't it? Alright, so let's see how far down we can get here. Maybe to there. My jump range might not make it. Depends on how far this is to the next star. So, route plotting failed. I don't want to use any synthesis or neutron boosts. I just want to do this basically as quickly and as effectively as we can. It looks like we're already almost as low as we can get, isn't it? We're back to some stars here. So 845 light years. I imagine that will give us quite a nice view. At that point, there's not many stars further down. Slightly further. Let's see if we can go any further down here. Probably with synthesis and jump boost, we might be able to get a bit further, but no, it's too far. It looks like this one is probably about it. How many jumps is that? That's not too many jumps, is it? 20 jumps. Okay, well, not for today, but I think that's going to be an interesting thing to take a look at, since we're already this far down. And let's just have a look, see how far the Conflux settlements actually are from here, which is waypoint 3. Which we want to get. We need to get there for Sunday, which is easy. Right, so only 1100 light years to the next waypoint, which we should be able to do pretty easy next time. We're going to do that before 7 PM on Sunday. We aim for that in the next stream. I think this is where we're going to end it for today, though. At least we made it to one of the more interesting points of interest here. So yeah, thank you for stopping along, everyone. Thank you for joining in. Been nice having another chat with you. So Borak, my jump range is 60 light years. Let's have a look here. We just want to give a few shout outs as well. Thank you to Chris Griffin. Thank you to Sergeant Stubby. Always appreciate your help as well, but thank you for the donation there. Mouse in Your House, thank you very, very much. Subi, thank you. DJ Widerman, thank you very, very much. Thank you again, Trey, for that. Always appreciate that. Both your help as well as Commander Raptor's help there in chat today. And thank you for the donation there as well, Raptor. Vi, thank you very much for that. Zernis Games, thank you. Very kind of you. Also, thank you to Scorp and Alex as well. And also thank you to Commander Soundo. Very much appreciated. So I hope you enjoyed the streams. It's been really nice. Looking forward to a nice weekend now, and then another stream on Sunday. Now do keep an eye out for later today. I have got a video that I'm releasing. It's not an Elite Dangerous video. It's for a game that's just come out called Sunless Skies. It looks pretty interesting. It's not your normal looking space game, let's say it that way. From the same developers as Sunless Seas, I think it was called. Yeah, Sunless Seas. Mouse in Your House. Wow, thank you very, very much. Thank you for that. Appreciated. So yeah, thanks everyone. Do keep an eye out for the other video. It'll be released probably around about 8 PM UTC, so about 2 hours from now. For those of you over on Twitch, let's go raid someone, I think. Who are we going to raid today? Not sure who's streaming. Give me 2 seconds. We'll have a bit of a look there. Give me 2 seconds. We're gonna go for someone random right near the bottom today. Let's give someone a bit of viewers. Hopefully you'll enjoy their stream. Let's have a look at this one here. Give me 2 seconds. Nice to sometimes do a surprise raid on someone who's not expecting it. Nope. We got here. Right, so we've got Commander Skirmy here, who's live streaming. So we go and raid Commander Skirmy as a bit of a surprise. I've never actually watched Commander Skirmy, so hopefully it's going to be an interesting watch for you guys. But as always, thanks for watching. I'll catch you all next time. I'll catch you Sunday. Thank you. See you soon.